Get access to influencing experts. Welcome to Easy Talk Live. Hosted by Eric Zuley. Woo-hoo! You guys ready to do this? Connect with celebrities and entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship at its best. Products, news, reviews, interviews, performances, events, even a little comedy. Giving back. CEOs connect with the top CEOs in the industry. And now, get ready for Easy Talk Live.
Everybody pull your mobile phones out and put your hands together for the Easy Talk Live Show. It's time to stop doing it the hard way and start doing it the easy way.
Easy way! Hey, the easy way. Oh, easy way. It's the easy way.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Easy Talk Live, another awesome live interactive show. And you know, as always, we are always about the fans, always about you guys. What's up, Aiden McNally and Stephanie? So glad that you tuned in. Michael Adam Cohen, what's up, man? Got superstars. So if you're a superstar, I want you guys to post your comments during today's show. As you guys know, I've interviewed over 4,000 different celebrities, getting to know their behind the scenes, what made them successful, where's their story at, and how they can help you ultimately. But as always, make sure that you guys press the share button, like, comment, tell your friends, share this like crazy. And eZWaynews.com is where the article will be afterwards, and you can also become a VIP of the membership of eZWay Network. If you're enjoying what you see, go to eZWayNetworking.com and check it out. We also have a lot of amazing events coming up, guys. We have superstars coming up on August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Eye to Eye Summit, Influence to Income. Learn how to create your influence, turn it to income from the superstars like the CEO of Napoleon Hill Foundation and the chairman of C-Suite Network and Greg Reed and so many amazing people. We even have the owner of Trailblazers TV. Speaking of Trailblazers, we got an amazing guest today, and the hot topic today is how do you take horror and make it a positive thing. We're gonna talk about some of the biggest, best movies. Jason Goes to Hell. I know you guys are fans of that. And then we have the Chainsaw Massacre 3D, and we want to give a big shout out. And again, guys, I always talk about giving credit to where credit is due. And this particular guest was brought to us today by Michael, which is our creative director for eZWay Network. But we're going to get into it, man. This guy has done a lot of stuff. And so get your comments ready, get your typing hands ready, get ready to ask questions, engage, interact, learn, grow, and share. So I'm Dr. Eric Zuley, and we'll be right back with our special guest, Adam Marcus, Hollywood director extraordinaire. And he's done his thing, man. So we're going to figure out how he did it. We'll be right back.
July 1st on eZWayTV. Director and screenwriter Adam Marcus in an exclusive interview with Eric Zuley, talking about his brilliant career in cinema, screenwriter and director of Jason Goes to Hell, The Last Friday. Also talking about Texas Chainsaw 3D, where he was co-writer and creator of the film's story. Don't miss the launch of his new documentary, Hearts of Darkness, the making of the final Friday.
Yay, we're making a movie, and it's a funny teen movie. It's Jason Voorhees. This is freaking awesome.
An exclusive Hollywood star talking everything in an unmissable interview. July 1st, 1 p.m. PST.
All right, all right, all right. So without further ado, I don't know if you guys can hear that music. There we go. Hear that music. That means that the guest is coming up. The Jason Adam Marcus. I mean, who doesn't know the movie Jason Goes to Hell? And some of these. I mean, these are like traditional like legacy movies and stuff that like the whole world knows about. So we're excited to have him on. Without further ado, let's bring to the stage Adam Marcus. All right, all right. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Eric. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Welcome to Easy Talk Live.
I am really thrilled to be here, brother.
Well, we want to say thank you again to Michael for bringing you to the table. Michael's been our
Amazing
creative
dude.
director for a while. And, you were telling me that you met him on social media. I mean, how
Sure
crazy
did.
is that?
I sure did. Yeah, we've actually we chat a lot. He's an amazing guy, so it's easy to do that.
Yeah, no, and he's an amazing behind the scenes like effects guy. Like he's got some serious skills. So a lot of the stuff that you guys see flyer wise and video. In fact, that promo that you watched was Michael. So let's get into you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just give you the stage. Pretend that like this is a TED Talks or a TEDx. We'll call it Easy Talks, right?
Love it,
And just
man.
like tell us your story and
Sure.
like just I'm gonna go ahead and give you like 5 minutes of the stage to just do your thing.
All right. So my story is a little unique in that I started as young as I did, not just in the industry, but as a director proper. So I grew up in a little town in Connecticut called Westport. I was born and raised between Manhattan and Westport, Connecticut, and my best friend when I was 9 years old was a kid named Noel Cunningham, and legend had it that his dad not only made movies but made like crazy dark movies. So I was a weird little kid, and I was totally into that, and so I started to make myself useful around his home because I really wanted to be in film. I'm like many people of my generation. 9 years old, I went to go see the first Star Wars on the second day of its release. And the minute I saw the Star Destroyer go over my head at the beginning of the movie, that was it. I looked at the screen. I said, I want to do that. And my dad, because I was 9, thought I wanted to be an astronaut. I was like, no. I want to make that. And that was it. I was off to the races. So I started helping out with Sean Cunningham at Cunningham Productions, who was just making the first Friday the 13th. So there I was, on board for that. And by the time I was 13, I was apprentice editing on a film called Spring Break, which is a completely inappropriate movie for a 13-year-old boy to be working on. The movie just wall-to-wall nudity. I joke that I went into the editing room a boy, came out a man. And so I went on from there I created my first theater company when I was 15. So the little town that I lived in, to give you a little background, Westport is an artist community, and I lived down the street from Paul Newman. I used to sing at Martha Stewart's house for Christmas. It was that kind of place, and I was completely immersed in that. My whole family are in the industry, actors and directors, and in fact, there's a film called Don't Go in the House that was written and directed and produced by my uncle Joe. That is kind of a legend about that movie. So I was really like in all of that already. Well, I start doing play readings with people like Sandy Dennis and Frank Gorshin and Keir Dullea and like extraordinary actors. I mean, there I am sitting across from the star of 2001, A Space Odyssey. So there, this was kind of an extraordinary way to grow up. The town that I lived in, the public high school, was built around an existing theater where Janis Joplin played, where Jimi Hendrix played. The Doors were there once. So they had this incredible theater. They built the high school around it. And in my high school, the theater paid for all of the sports programs. So I was blessed. I'm always trying to, wave the flag of keeping arts in public school, because your kids get the arts. They are much easier to learn science. They're much easier to be empathetic. You're better in team building situations. It's just an incredible route to all those things is the arts. So I started my own theater company when I was 15, worked with an incredible man named Al Pia. Al was a Broadway director and pretty extraordinary guy, and taught me everything I know. And when I was 11 years old, he sat down with me and gave me a copy of An Actor Prepares, Stanislavski's book. And I went through it chapter by chapter with him at 11. And he really taught me sort of a reverence and a love for acting and for actors. And so I knew my place was in that area. And eventually I just really wanted to direct. I wanted to direct actors. So I end up going to NYU Film School. My two theater companies, because I had opened a second one, my two theater companies end up paying my way through college. So, NYU was not a cheap school, that's for sure. And while I am there at NYU, I make a movie called So You Like This Girl, and we win Best Picture. And we also win, for the first time in NYU's history, we win the Ensemble Award. So every member of my cast comes away with an award for this film, which was like just so extraordinary for me. Because again, I love my actors. That's really where I live and breathe. And in that little movie, two members of the state, Tom Lennon and Joe Latruglio, you'll know them from Reno 911 and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, respectively. Carrie Kenny, I grew up with, who is now one of the stars. She plays Steve Carell's wife on the Four Seasons, the new Tina Fey show. These were all people that I was involved with, but these people were in my movie. And so this film got me two job offers. One was for Lynch Frost to be in the writer's room for season 2 of Twin Peaks. And the other job offer came from my old boss, from Sean Cunningham, who now moved to LA. And he said, look, if you can come out to LA, if you can get here, be my slave for a year and I'll give you your shot. I'll give you your chance to direct. And so I couldn't have gotten to LA quicker.
Wait, did you say be my slave?
Be my slave for a year. He actually said, be my bitch. That's literally the words that he used. And I was like, okay, if that's what it's going to take for me to, to get where I need to go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. So I did. And I moved to LA. I've got $300 in my pocket. I paid all my student loans. I was free. I had no debt over my head. And I come to LA with $300 in my pocket and no driver's license. I'd never driven a car. So I had to buy a VW Bug for $300. It was a 1963 VW Bug, canary yellow, the same make, model, and color of car Kevin Bacon has in Footloose. And by the way, that's me as 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon, Friday 13th, and now the car from Footloose.
That is like my favorite. Not to stop you, please.
Not at all, please.
That's like my favorite movie of all. Because I'm a dancer. Me
too.
Are you?
Yeah,
really?
Dude, that's amazing.
What type of dance?
Oh, dude, modern jazz. I was ballet when I was younger. I do some hip hop now and a ton of tap. I was a choreographer for years in the theater. Ooh, I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Am I back? There we go.
There you go. Now you're back. Now you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I was sorry about that. I was a choreographer for Bally's Total Fitness. I worked with I was a dancer for a Pulse dance troupe, which worked with the Lakers and the Laker girls. Mm-hmm. We danced at Magic Mountain, SeaWorld. We did a lot of battle dancing. I was like a major hip hop guy. I also had a network with Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, so I had a lot of A-list celebrities on my network and stuff. So like we would always do these dance battle competitions to raise money for nonprofits and stuff. So dancing is my thing. So that we got to come on.
Brother, I started dancing when I was 11 because the studio in this little town that I was talking about was a very kind of famous studio, and they had no boys. They only had girl dancers, and I wanted to learn, and my parents couldn't afford for lessons, so I went down there and I said, "You need guys, right?" And they were like, "Absolutely." I said, "I'll do it," and they let me have class for free because I could lift.
Oh wow, yeah, and that's not easy to do. When you're lifting a body,
it is not.
Balance.
It is not.
Well, I don't want to knock you off track of your story.
Not at all, man. That's awesome. I love that. By the way,
Adam, while you're telling your story, please engage because people are talking to you. You're gonna look on the screen, and you'll see. So, guys, remember, you can talk to Adam. You can ask him questions. You can get involved with him. Yeah, while he's telling you your story. But please continue. I had to jump in there.
I love that. No, that's awesome, man. Thank you. That's amazing. Okay, good. I didn't see all these comments, guys. I didn't have the comments up. So please forgive me. I of course I want to interact. So anyway, I came out to Los Angeles. I'm living in a car that I can't even drive. And I end up with a script. I have a script that I've been working on with my writing partner, a guy named Dean Laurie, all through college, called Johnny Zombie. And and the script is insane. And it's the first movie I want to make as a filmmaker. And so I bring it to Sean. Sean reads it. And by the way, the only reason he read it is because Roger Corman's company wanted it. I actually, coming back to dance, I had a lot of friends who worked in catering in LA from NYU, and they would sneak me into big events like, charity events and whatnot that I could never get into at that time. And I would go to these events.
Me. I don't mean to keep stopping you, but like we have so much in common. I remember the Maxim 100 party.
Mm-hmm.
That it was the first time I ever went. That's where I met Kim Kardashian. I met the whole Kardashians. I met Amanda Bynes. I met Jamie Foxx. I met all these different A-list celebrities because they all go to the Maxim 100 party, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'll tell you how I got in. I'm just going to be really real here. So like,
Please.
I have interviewed so many people. And guys, here's a little tip for you. This is like crashing 101 if you want to get into big events. So I have interviewed so many people. I would always I'd come up to somebody that I thought was like an important director or producer or sponsor. And the way that you get into the big events that cost a lot of money or are very hard to get into is you find people with money. Okay. You find the people that have the money and then you act like you know them. So what I did is I would find somebody that had the money and I would walk up to them and I'd be like, oh, hey, dude, I can't believe it. Good seeing you again. I interviewed you on that one big movie premiere carpet, right? Remember I did this, da-da-da-da. And they're looking at me like, you do look kind of familiar. Yeah. I said, you don't remember that interview was awesome. It was like one of my best interviews, this and that. And then I'm just and I'd put my arm around them and like just hanging and just walk right into the event. That was one of my little.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I was not so lucky. I did not have as many people that I could connect to that way. I just had buddies who would open up the door in the kitchen for me and let me slip in, and I'd have a tux on, and I'd look like I was supposed to belong there. And
that's the movie theaters where they open the door and they let
100%. 100%.
Okay, well, please continue with your story.
Not at all. No, that's awesome, dude. I ended up dancing with Julie Corman, Roger Corman's wife, and the two of them were having this contest to see who could make the cheapest, fastest movie. And I was like, oh, sign me up for that. So I asked her to dance because I could dance. And I think she was shocked that a young man could actually dance. And we're on the dance floor and she's asking me about myself, which was very kind of her. And I start pitching my movie. The fact that I, was a director at NYU and I won this award and blah, blah, blah. And I pitched the movie and she loves it. She loves the idea. And she says, send that to me. Get that to me tomorrow. I said, you got it. So I then tell Noel, my best friend, this story. And I know immediately he's going to go to Sean and tell him. So he comes into the office the next morning and I'm making a copy. I'm making a photocopy. This is back when we still had to make photocopies and things to send off. And he sees the photocopy and goes, what's this? I said, well, it's a movie that I really want to make. He grabs it off my hey, Mikal, hugs to Brazil, baby. You know it, brother. He takes the script, goes into his office, and slams the door. An hour and a half later, he calls me in. He says, hey, I love the title, but I hate the script. So I'm going to give you $1.5 million. You're going to shoot it in Connecticut, but I want to get you a real writer on this. And I said, no sale. I won't do it. And I wasn't going to throw my friend under the bus. It was not going to happen. He wrote that script. I worked on it for 4 years with him. And so he said, wow, the ball's on you. I said, listen, I'm not going to screw people over. It's just not the way I am. And he flew my writing partner out, put us up in a hotel for 6 weeks.
I got to commend you for that. Not to jump in, but I'm already liking you already. We're gonna be good. I got to tell you, I had an office on the Paramount lot story. And I'll just remind me to tell you this story. There's a lady that brought in the funders and brought in like a lot of stuff, and they tried to cut her out. I brought in the directors. I brought in the A-list actors. I brought in all these different things. They tried to cut her out. I ended up kind of getting to know her. I know, like when they start creating those meetings and then you start seeing people not in the meetings and then it keeps progressing. So I was literally at at like a round table of like all these major, you know, powerful producers and investors and celebrities and da da da. And I asked them, why is she not in this meeting? And they're like, oh, don't worry about her. We got her. I said, no, I'm not really feeling this, but I'll continue my story later. But I like the morals that I'm hearing so far. Please continue the story. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, dude, I will never screw over a friend. I cannot do it. It's just not in my DNA. And so we had this script.
Everybody post your comments. We got a Hollywood director with morals. I love it. That's like hard to come by in Hollywood.
This is the best interview I've had in so long. I can't begin to tell you. That's awesome. So there I am with this script, and we get the thing into shape the way Sean loves it, and he loves the script. But now he really wants to get big money for it. Doesn't want to give me $1.5 million to go shoot it. He wants to make a big studio picture out of this. So I'm like, okay, let's make it happen. So the problem in Hollywood, as I'm sure Eric knows, is, you know, nobody reads anything. They read synopses of things, but they don't read anything, right? So I said to Sean, I said, look, wouldn't it be a better idea than trying to get these executives to read? Why don't we invite them to a reading? And because of my theater background, and because we had an incredible casting director who was working with us, a guy named Barry Moss at a Hughes Moss Casting in New York, I said, let's get Barry to help us cast the reading. We'll do a read for studio execs. Let's get them excited. Let's make this happen, right? And he loved the idea. So we ended up in a huge table read of this movie. Now, by the way, this table read, extraordinarily enough, I had several Tony Award winners. I had Charlotte Rae, who most people know from The Facts of Life, Mrs. Garrett. I had George Hearn, who won the Tony for playing Sweeney Todd on Broadway in the original production of the show. Len Cariou and George Hearn were the two guys who originated the role. And then the person who played Johnny in Johnny Zombie was a guy that I'd lived next door to for 3 years while I was at NYU, Adam Sandler. It's a true story. And after this reading, by the way, 1 week after this reading, Adam Sandler got SNL and went back to New York. Was in LA, got back.
Are you kidding me? We got to talk later. Do you know how many people come to me that have money that want Adam Sandler? He is like the hardest person in the planet, even if you have money to even get to try to book. I don't know why.
Do you know what's incredible about him? He's one of the few guys that I know that success has only made him nicer.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he's become like in college. It was very funny because we were always bristling with each other in college. And I'm telling you, over the years, like just a nicer and nicer and nicer dude, just a better guy. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's the rarest thing too.
I love when they stay humble, and you know, usually those type of people, they have God in their heart. There's some sort of light there, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I totally respect everybody's religion, but I would love to learn more and hear more about that. But this interview is about you. Please continue with your story.
No worries, brother. No worries. So we do this reading, and New Line Cinema, who I really wanted to go with, they wanted the movie, as did Disney. And the two of them get in a bidding war. Well, Disney just had way more money. And so Sean sold the movie to Disney, which broke my heart. And suddenly they're making a $9 million movie. There's no way they're going to let a 22-year-old kid at that time, 21-year-old kid, direct that movie. It's never going to happen. So I end up a producer on that movie. I turn to Sean Cunningham and I say, hey, dude, you owe me a movie. Like, I just made you a lot of money. Give me a movie. And he said to me at that point, something that I thought was an insult at the time. It was not. It was probably the best compliment I could have gotten. He said, you know what, Marcus, your greatest talent is you're the world's biggest nudge. And he's right.
I'm sorry to start being Marcus, but do you know how much you just sounded like Andy Dick right then?
Well, that's what Sean Cunningham sounds. Sean Cunningham sounds like the supervillain, the Penguin, from Batman. Because he is the Penguin. It's an amazing thing, actually. It's
crazy. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So anyway, so Sean, he said, look, New Line is buying Jason Voorhees from Paramount. And if you can find a way to get that freaking hockey mask out of the movie, I'll let you write and direct it. And I was like, Awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Friday series, and I'm also a huge horror fan in general. Like I'm a maniac for horror, and I was like, oh my God, yes, please. Suddenly I go, wait, you want me to get the what out of the what? I got to get rid of the mask? Okay. 3 days later, I brought him a treatment that ended up becoming Jason Goes to Hell. And I was hired on the spot. And I was 21, I think just 22 when I got hired to write and direct the movie. And I was 23 when I directed it. At the same time, Johnny Zombie was getting made, and it got turned into a movie called My Boyfriend's Back. And
Oh
so
wait,
that
are you kidding me? Is that the My Boyfriend's Back and he's
Yep.
coming after you? Hey now.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
I'm a host, but I'm also a fan of this show, of this
I love it.
episode. I'm loving the story. Keep going.
Awesome, dude. So anyway, we have in fact, those two movies came out 1 week apart. Johnny Zombie came out on the 8th of August, and my movie came out on Friday the 13th, of course, the next week out. And so I had a movie that I produced and then a movie that I wrote and directed, both within 2 weeks.
Okay, I know I keep stopping, but I just got to ask you. You said
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. All right.
Yes.
So, how much do I look like Robert Englund's son?
There's definitely a resemblance, dude. That's very funny. Do you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? My writing partner, Dean Lorry, on that movie resembles Robert so much, it's crazy.
Really? Just so you guys,
Crazy.
Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. If you guys know from Nightmare on Elm Street, I actually had TMZ come up to me on the streets thinking I was his son. Like,
Wow.
for real. I was on Fox. I
Wow.
was on TMZ thinking I was his son.
Did you know that Robert Englund was up to play Luke Skywalker, and he was Mark Hamill's roommate, and he's the one who went back to their apartment and said, "I just went on this Star Wars movie. It looks great, man. You should get yourself in on that." And that's
Really?
literally how that happened. Freddy Krueger is the reason Mark Hamill became Luke Skywalker.
Are you kidding me?
That is a
Really?
true story. That is a true
Wow.
story. Yeah, those guys were roommates.
You never know what you're gonna get doing it these way or
Right?
watching eZWayTV. Well, thank you. That we got just got a total sneak peek on that one. All right, let's keep the story rolling.
You got it, brother. So I had just turned 25 when Jason Goes to Hell came out, and again, I was 23 when I directed the movie. So at that time, I was the youngest writer director ever hired by a major studio for a franchise movie. So I was really given the keys to the kingdom. So I did that. And right after that movie, right after Jason Goes to Hell, I got offered a ton of stuff. The best thing I got offered was a movie called Scary Movie, which ended up becoming Scream. And I loved that script. Oh my God, it was so good. Such an amazing screenplay. The problem is 2 weeks after I got offered, Wes Craven came in and said he wanted to do it. And I've known Wes since I was a little boy, because Wes and Sean were partners for many years. They made Last House on the Left together. And so suddenly I could not, I was like, I'm not going to direct that movie. Like, Wes Craven's going to direct it. He's going to be amazing. So Uncle Wes got that one. I was offered Pumpkinhead 2, Amityville 95, Leprechaun Back 2, The Hood. I was offered all these horror movies, but all had a part number at the end. And I didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a guy who just has part numbers at the end of my movies. So I said, you know what? I'm going to zig when they think I'm going to zag. So my brother Kip, who was a marvelous actor, he was playing Marius on Broadway in Les Mis. He had been in Jason Goes to Hell, and he and I had worked in theater together our whole lives. Well, Kip comes to me. He's got a screenplay. He's got a screenplay based on a play that he had written that was at the Tribeca Film Center years earlier. And he asks me to come on board and help him to rewrite this picture and then to make the movie with him. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna do this. And it was a romantic comedy. Couldn't have been further from what I had just made. It was closer to what I made in college, which was a comedy, a teen comedy. But this was a different bird for me. So I was so excited. And I go to make this movie, Let It Snow, and Let It Snow ends up becoming a juggernaut for me. It was crazy. I mean, Jason Goes to Hell was extraordinary. It was a huge box office hit. Number 2 when it opened under The Fugitive. I mean, we were killing it. And suddenly I'm making this, tiny indie in New York City, flew back to my hometown and shot this movie. And here's the thing, that movie, the cast is so incredible because it's a lot of firsts. So Stephen Colbert is in the movie before anybody knew Stephen Colbert was. Miriam Shore, Henry Simmons. I got Bernadette Peters to come out of an 8-year retirement from film. She hated doing movies, and she came out to do this movie with us, and she is extraordinary in the film. Next thing you know, we're winning we swept the awards at the Los Angeles International Film Festival through AFI. And then we are at Sundance, and we become this huge Sundance hit. The movie starts playing all over the world. I'm shocked. Like I'm like, what's happening? And again, look, when you make a Friday the 13th movie, you don't expect to get good reviews. We got a bunch, which is shocking, but you don't expect it. With this little indie, this little darling movie, suddenly we start getting reviews that are like off the charts. So I'm getting great reviews. I'm winning these awards, and it's for a $200,000 film shot on 35. And by the way, always a union project. So SAG, it was Writers Guild. We were always union. And we really created something kind of special. Well, next thing I know, television hits, and suddenly everybody in television wants to be talking to us and working with us. And my brother and I end up selling 5 TV series within a year and a half of that movie opening. It was crazy. It was just an insane time. So I do that for a bit, but I very, very quickly get sucked back into the world of horror because I had a project called Black Autumn, which is on something called the Blacklist. I don't know if your viewers know what the Blacklist is, but it's all of the development people in Hollywood. They have a list of the best scripts that have never been made. I've had 2 on that list, which is shocking. Like, to get 1 is amazing. I've had 2.
And then there's also, and maybe this question, but you know how people say, like, I'm gonna blacklist you, like I'm gonna shut you down. Do you know where that came from?
Yeah, that's from the McCarthy hearings. That's from the.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it's funny, the blacklist, as it refers to screenplays, is a positive thing, which I'm with you, because when I first heard the blacklist, I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? Going to stop me from making the movie? What is that?
Yeah.
But it was this positive thing. It was like this amazing thing, right?
That's interesting.
So I had a movie called Gravity on the list, and I had Black Autumn on the list. Well, Black Autumn ends up getting picked up by Fox Studios through Mike Medavoy at Phoenix Pictures. That becomes a big deal. At the same time, I'm being offered a bunch of other movies and writing stuff. And I write this script called Conspiracy with my writing partner, Deborah Sullivan, who happens to be my wife and my partner for the last 3 decades. And I write this movie, Conspiracy, and 2 weeks after the first draft was done, Val Kilmer read it and said, I want to do this movie. And next thing you know, I'm making a Val Kilmer action movie in New Mexico. So again, I'm, horror to romantic comedy or horror to action. I'm all over the place as a filmmaker. And what I start to realize about myself, and what I'm most grateful for in my career, is that I have never been held down by structure of the way the industry works. I've never allowed myself to be put in a box. And I have to tell you, it's given me such satisfaction just in the art that I it's so funny because people don't talk enough about film as art and storytelling as art. And it's what I love. It's why I love it. It's the creativity of it. It's not the money. It's not any of that stuff. That's all nice. But it's about being able to ply your craft and to do the thing that you love the most in the world. By the way, it doesn't have to be film. It can be anything. But if you love what you're doing, I've been working in this industry since I was 9 years old. I have never worked a day in my life. I just haven't, because I love what I do. I love it.
I love that. We need to highlight that. So you said that you never work a day in your life,
Mhm.
because you love what you do, so you don't consider it working
At
so
all.
let me take you down this, and thank you so much, Adam, for sharing that story. I'm sure our
Sure.
audience loved it. By the way, guys, post your comments, be a part of the show as we're going along, whatever. But we have a lot of filmmakers, a lot of content creators. I don't know if you know about this, Adam, but we work the National Social Media Awards. We work with multiple different award shows. We do a lot of things in the industry, personal development, nonprofit, and especially Hollywood, especially entertainment.
Amazing.
And a lot of people come to us and they often will ask, how do I get my project funded? How do I get my project made? How do I
Yep.
start? Where do I go? Can you go down the rabbit hole of actually how to get a project jump started,
Yeah.
in filmmaking?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the first thing, the first most important thing actually about when people, because I teach as well, and I have a theater in LA called the Pico Playhouse, and I'm there three nights a week working with actors, and it's my joy, it's my true joy. And a lot of filmmakers and directors, and they'll come to me and they'll talk about, like, how do I get my foot in the door? And getting your foot in the door and financing are very different things. So to get your foot in the door is really, really easy. And it's going to sound Pollyanna-ish. It's not. It's very important. Everybody's got one of these in their pockets. You've got the most powerful filmmaking tool literally sitting in your pocket every day, just sitting there. And I'm telling you, if I had this when I was a kid,
I love it, dude. You and I have so much in common, because I always tell people it's not a communication device anymore. It's a content creation device.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can literally write, direct, produce, shoot, edit, and then distribute from one thing in your pocket. And look, yes, I know everybody wants to look like David Fincher. Your first stuff isn't going to look that way. By the way, it can look pretty damn close, because let's remember Sean Baker, who just became the most awarded single person for a single movie in the history of the Academy Awards. That dude won Sundance with a movie that was shot on an iPhone 5, on a 5. That camera is crap. These cameras are amazing. These are 4K cameras now. So you can make something that looks fantastic, and you can self-distribute. I mean, I'm sorry, YouTube is an opportunity to self-distribute. There's a million places to distribute if you've got the content. Here's the next thing. And I know that everybody's like, well, nobody's going to, Tubi's not going to pick up my movie just because. No, they're probably not. Here's the next part of it. And it's what I had to do as a young guy. You have to go to festivals. That's where they're showing movies. And by the way, the thing that's wonderful about festivals, that's where people who love movies go to watch movies. So you've got an audience that wants to be there, that wants to experience what you're doing, right? They want to see what you're showing. So now you're in a world where people are really going to give you the right feedback, and you're going to get to really feel how an audience feels about your work. Here's the next thing. The other people that go to festivals are executives, assistants, agents, managers. Well, if suddenly you win an award for your film, or even get nominated for an award for your film, suddenly you have a foot in the door. Now people are going to be asking you what you're doing next. Now they're going to want to read your next feature screenplay. This is where you get your first step into this world of being able to get financed, of being able to step into a studio meeting. I think festivals are incredibly important. By the way, you don't even have to be a filmmaker for this. If you're somebody who wants to write scripts, if you don't want to direct, if you don't want to shoot movies, but if you want to just write scripts, almost every great film festival has a screenwriting competition. Throw in, save a few bucks. I'm not saying it's cheap. It costs a bit of money to do all this stuff. Not terrible though, guys. It's not. Give up Starbucks for 6 months. You'll have the money to go to festivals.
We so need to do this. All right. So one of the things I'm famous for, Adam, just like you're famous for movies, I'm famous for streaming and online stuff. And so I will often do panels and streaming situations with higher profile people like yourself. Mm-hmm. One, typically to raise money for charity, for some nonprofits.
Love everything about that. Yeah.
That's my thing. But I can totally see us doing something that is streaming that helps filmmakers, almost like I don't want to say it on the show because someone will steal my idea and make millions of dollars. But we'll talk behind the scenes. But like,
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like kind of a panel guideline for filmmaking and financing and stuff. I want to create a circle of high profile people that have actually done projects, that have actually done it, that want to pull others up. Do like a special group of, okay.
Well, by the way, the company that I founded in 2015 that I do everything through now, like all of my films are done through my company now. That company, we have 3 divisions. We have a high budget division, we got a television division, and then we got the division that is my baby that I love, which is where the hell did Roger Corman go? And it is simply there to find new voices. You don't have a lot of money to spend, but you get to make your movie. And that's the part that I'm turned on by more than anything else, because look, I was given a chance. I got a career because I got a chance. Yes, talent has to be there. No two ways about it. So there's a lot of people who are going to think they're great filmmakers and they're not. And that does happen. And that's soul crushing, but it does happen. But the people who are really gifted out there, the people who really have a voice, who don't get seen, who don't get that chance, I'm desperate to give people that chance.
No, we're gonna get along real good. So guys, if you're liking the show, scan the QR code, take your phone out and take your camera, scan this QR code, and you can get involved with what we're talking about. I mean, you're literally watching a brainchild hatch right now. Like, you're watching something amazing. And this is another industry person. And I love meeting people like you, Adam, because when you start forming like a coalition of people that have a heart to help others and picking them back, there's a lot of doorways that and I love having my own show on my own network and be able to do my own thing and not have to follow the rule. There's a lot that Hollywood and a lot of specific ways that, like, you got to be you got to be blood, or it's about who you know, and like that's so controlled.
Yeah.
We created the gold carpet versus the red carpet, like we created like kind of our own thing to help independence. And then, like, I have people like, that work with Dick Clark, and like Dr. Olympia Jr. I want to give him a shout out. He dubbed me as the next digital Dick Clark. So just like
That's
Dick Clark did, Dick Clark literally had the ability to create anything he wanted. Right. So I feel like that's almost me at this point. Maybe it is me at this point where first through streaming television, because the industry has like completely changed. Everything has changed. AI, gold-backed digital currencies, social media, streaming. People don't watch television anymore. They're on the phone watching their stories and reels. Talk a little bit about that. What do you think about the transition and the shift, and how have you transitioned your company to shift in the new digital age, and how business
Absolutely. Well, look, streaming, I mean, now there is truly the landscape is streaming. That's where you have to be. It's why I talk about how, there are so many platforms now for people to get out there and be seen. The trick in filmmaking, especially when you're dealing with bigger budgets, is how do we make the market pay for the filmmaker to be able to make the movie and then get it to people? Because streaming is also not as profitable for the filmmaker personally. Yes, if you are, big on TikTok or huge on YouTube, and now you have to be huge on YouTube to amortize that correctly, then you can really have a revenue stream. But for those of us that, we make movies, and that's sort of what we were schooled in order for us to be able to swim and not sink, you have to utilize streaming in as clever a way as possible. By the way, a big part of that is now embracing the idea of allowing an audience to be in on what you're doing from the beginning. So I am all for live streaming from set. I love getting my actors, getting my filmmakers involved from set. And
me and my team will be on every set that you're doing.
I love it. Dude, I love it. I love it. Look, I got to tell you, I think it's the only way for us as a culture to be able to survive, because if you make people partners in the movie that you're making, they are much more inclined to go and watch your movie. And by the way, look, we need to figure out how we're going to make theaters profitable, because that is the easiest way for filmmakers to keep making movies at a reasonable budget. And I'm not talking about the 200 million Marvel movies. Those will always make money. That will always do fine. Okay. I'm talking about, again, Anora this year, this tiny little movie. It's a tiny film. And the Neon had to spend $18 million, three times the budget of the movie, in order to get people excited about the film. But guess what? That's how they got it in everybody's hands. They made everybody a partner. I will tell you. So I vote on a lot of the awards because of the guilds that I'm in and because of the movies that I've made. So I voted a lot of awards at the end of the year. Anora was the only movie, the only one that I got multiple copies on DVD. Everybody else sent me streaming links. You know how many voters just ignore the streaming links, or they don't get to all of them, they don't watch all the movies? But here's the thing. They put a physical thing in my hand over and over again. I kept getting copies of Nora. I could probably wallpaper my bathroom with a Nora. Okay. But I got to tell you something. It woke me up. I watched it. The minute I got it, was like, oh, wow, a DVD. I'm actually getting a physical copy of this. That's cool. And by the way, the physical media trend, which now is trending up again, thank God. I'm a big fan of Matt Damon. I just think he's a very smart business guy. Forget about just his acting, his writing. He's a really smart guy. And he will talk about how, when we had DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, when that was the business, you were guaranteed to make a certain amount of money, which meant you had a guaranteed amount of money to make a movie. And if we can start to get people back to a place where they're willing to pay to see the work, I got to tell you something, we're all going to keep making movies. If we can't make that work, the level of money being spent on film is going to go down. That's the danger. That's the danger.
Well, I want, and by the way, guys, I want to encourage you guys, because there's a couple people that are sending me text messages and things, because some people are actually watching on Roku and smart TVs, and they can't actually engage with us on screen. But to those people that are watching, you can scan the QR code that you see right there. You can scan that QR code and download the app, and then you can text. If you guys want to keep in touch with Adam or anything that we're doing, you can text 1-888-346-9849 is the number, and then you text eZWay as the message if you want to get in touch. And this is like the best interview I've done in a long time. You gave me some kudos saying this is the best interview you've been on. This is the best interview I've done in a while, because you're actually, I can tell that you're really humble and you just love what you do, and you're just like, I can't wait to have you back. I mean, we almost need to have you do a segment on my show to continue all your stories and whatnot. But I want to go a couple specific directions, and I know we have a little bit more time, and I know we want to promote your new film and your new project that you have coming up. But one specific question that I want to ask you, because I'm a filmmaker myself, well, not a filmmaker, but a producer. I bring a lot to projects. One thing though is decks are super important. Like you got to have the right deck, right?
Yeah.
You got to have the right presentation. You got to have the right team. So what is your advice to getting results based upon what you're putting on the deck when you're trying to get financing or you're trying to get things to happen with these projects?
I think a deck is incredibly important. And by the way, when we talk about a deck, yes, you want all of the visual elements that are going to help get somebody, look, people love books with pictures in them. It's tough to get people to read a book without pictures in them, which is sad, but true. There's a reason a ton of our content is coming from comic books. Think of comic books as the best decks you could ever get. So when somebody wanted to make Iron Man, well, there's an incredible deck that is 1,000 issues long behind that movie. So if you can tell a story visually, and yes, you have everybody's resumes, you have all the mission statements, you have all the great verbiage there as well. But if you can show somebody what you're going to do, and I will tell you this, there's a great service that I've been on for years called Shot Deck. I was actually there when they first beta tested it. And all it is images of thousands and tens of thousands of movies. So there are millions of images available on this service. And what I do is I take those images when I'm trying to create something for an audience to be able to, for a financier to put money into something. I use that plethora of images to help tell my story visually. When I do that, I'm giving people a comic book. I'm giving people a chance to actually see the way I want to tell the story and how I want it to look. And again, you've got all these incredible films to choose from that you can actually help to tell your story. The other thing, and this is the most important thing, most important, hands down, you have to have a good deck, but you also have to pitch well. You have to know your story so well that in 30 seconds you can tell somebody what that movie is. Here's what my movie is. And or here's what my TV show is, or here's what my idea is for a short film.
Yeah.
Being able to just say it and say it with confidence, it instills confidence in the person who wants to give you the money.
You know, when I worked at Comp USA, I was a business machines lead, and I became a trainer for a lot of the sales. And one of the biggest things, if you guys don't know about sales, there's a more game we're going to put you up on. There's recognizing buying signals, product placement, product knowledge, rapport. You know, there's certain things in sales that allow you to do that close. And one of the two most important was rapport and product knowledge, which is what you're basically kind of talking about. You got to know your product. The more that you're confident and you know your product, the more someone else is going to buy or get involved or, you know, believe in it. Right.
Absolutely. 100%. So it's,
I want to acknowledge a couple of people here, Adam, that you know, kind of that I want you to meet. That we got a lot of our team on here. So for one, Aiden McNally is a 16-year-old student in Florida, who's part of our team now. He contacted me on an app called Owl, and we've been together ever since. Him and his dad, they work with a nonprofit for homelessness in Florida, and Stephanie Keys is a partner I work with. We give honorary doctorate degrees out and big awards and stuff together.
Beautiful.
And then we have an organization, the Billionaire Women Rising. You know, and Annie Monet is a Fortune 500 level coach and consultant. We actually do Trailblazers TV together, which I can definitely you know, reference you to be on there as well. Which only the biggest trailblazers that have actually had the resume.
Beautiful.
You know,
I saw that she was talking about starting a film festival about fashion and creative interview shows. So that looked amazing to me already. I was like, hey,
well, there we go, Andy. We gotta talk about that. We're gonna make that happen. You know, one of my most favorite things to do, Adam, and one of the reasons I do the show is the follow up and the follow through afterwards, the Zoom events afterwards, the magic that happens afterwards. I want to build a virtual film festival for eZWayTV. I mean, we're worldwide, we're national, we're international. We've done our thing. We're a pretty big network now. But I don't play unless I play really big. I got to have the right team players. So what's your advice in developing and then after this, we're going to go into your project. I know you have this amazing project coming up, but what's your advice in developing your team, the proper team, finding the right team, developing, because it's all about the team behind the talent, the team behind the
100%,
company.
100%. You know? Yeah. Look, for me, okay, so I made a film a few years ago called Secret Santa. It's my favorite movie that I've made personally, that I've written and directed. And it's a very snarky movie about family, right? About the family you're born into. I have spent my whole life really thinking about the family that you create. And for me, it's the family that I've chosen. It's the other artists that I work with, the filmmakers that I work with. That to me is your family. That becomes your family, in my opinion. And that movie sort of typifies it, because I brought together this incredible team of artists to make a movie. We made it for no money. I mean, really no money. I so little, it's ridiculous. And the movie is playing internationally and won awards all over the world. And that only happens because you got the right team. So you couldn't be more right, Eric. Like it's all about how do you get the support.
You just hit a nail right on the head. We have to do a workshop together on how to make a movie for no money.
I'd love it. And I've done it. I've done it.
I could teach a lot on how to market yourself for no money, and so we could do something real big there. But a lot of people are digging the interview. Yes, family, you create, choose, align with love, passion, power. From and then Aiden saying he loves it. Stephanie saying that the great interview. You know, like a lot of people are really digging the vibe. But guys, I've been saving the best for last. And by the way, Adam, you know, we've supported a lot of film projects. I've done a lot of P&A on a lot of things. This next project that you have coming up. You know, I want you to take some time and really focus and follow up on that. And when you promote this next project or any projects, know that a lot of people that are watching this show have money. Okay.
Sure.
They have distribution connections. Most of them have media or major network connections, streaming and whatnot. And a lot of them are celebrities, believe it or not. A lot of them are looking for jobs. They're A-list level celebrities that are on our wall of fame, which, by the way, let me just show you guys real quick and how you can get a hold of Adam, you can actually go to the eZWay Interactive app and you can look for Adam and connect with him. Or I mean, we're gonna hook you up too, Adam. You can go to his Instagram, Adam Marcus 13. You can look, and thank you for sharing that on your Instagram, by the way, our stuff.
Of course, dude, of course.
So I want everybody watching right now, we'll call this a waterfall effect. We're gonna put his Instagram in the screen. I want everybody to go follow afterwards, but reach out to him and support eZWay, support the movement. Reach out to him. Look for Adam on the eZWay Wall of Fame. And Adam, you'll see a lot of celebrities. You know, you probably know Spencer Weiland, and he would be, you know, he was Darth Vader.
Yep.
You know, like there's a lot of celebrities that we have on our platform. And she created the Matrix and Terminator, Mark Victor Hansen. We got sports celebrities. Hawthorne James would probably be a great one for you. He was Speed on Keanu Reeves, and the 5 Heartbeats. He played, you know, I mean, the co-founder of Entertainment Television.
My cinematographer shot the 5 Heartbeats.
Oh, okay. Cool. And then
Bill
Kate
Dill.
Linder from me on the right. So there's a lot of great people on here, but you guys can look up Adam on the Wall of Fame, and then you go down, you look up his profile. I hope you don't mind, Adam. My team, you know, put your photo on there.
Sure.
Yeah, so you guys can go to this link, which we're going to put on the stream. You know how to get to him, and I want you to guys all go to his review section on his Wall of Fame profile, and let's give him a lot of love, because this has been a great interview. You have given some very valuable golden nuggets. Not just golden nuggets, you gave us the barbecue sauce, the honey, and the sweet and sour. You know what I mean? Like, you held it down, man. So I
love it, man. I love being the KFC of interviews. It's awesome. Dig it.
Exactly. So guys, and during what he's going to promote now, his next project. All right, we're going to give you the time to do that. But while he's promoting that, if you guys have any questions, if you want to go along with his next project, be involved in this next project, whatever, please feel free to post your comments, which we can put on screen. So take a look and look for those, Adam. So moving on, I'm going to shut up now, give you the stage, go ahead and promote that next project coming up.
Absolutely. So the next thing we got going on right now, the thing that's coming out is Hearts of Darkness, the making of the final Friday. So I made Jason Goes to Hell many, many years ago. And I had a lot of fans who were always reaching out to me to make a making of the movie, because people love the movie. And there's a lot of people who hate the movie, which is great. Like, I love the debate. I don't care if somebody loves or hates my work. That's fine. As long as you're talking about it, we keep it in the conversation. And the movie has been in the conversation for a long time. So I did not want to make a doc. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to put my company's money into making a doc. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. Well, a few years back, 2 fans of mine, a guy named TJ Bowser and a guy named Corey Kaufman, the 2 of them created a Facebook page called Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Fan page on Facebook. It was for my birthday. They just did it for my birthday. And it was like the sweetest thing. I was like, this is really nice, man. This is lovely. And I thought there'd be a few people on there asking questions and whatnot, and I would answer things and whatnot. But within a week, it had thousands of members. I was like, what is happening? Like, it was crazy.
Real quick, not keep your train of thought, but guys, if you followed Adam, okay, I want you to put in the screen, put in the comments, I followed Adam while he's telling a story.
Love it. So so now there was this large group of people that were now begging for the documentary. They really wanted this. So I was like, okay, here's the deal. I will make the doc, but you guys got to pay for it. I will not take $1. I have not made $1 off this movie in 5 years of making it. I've not made $1. I said, but I'm going to put it on Indiegogo. You guys crowdfund this thing. You put the money in there. I will go make the doc. I will give you my time and make the doc. And they did really quickly. Like, I was like, oh no, now I got to go make the doc. And we were fully financed within days. Like, it was extraordinary. And we went out and made this documentary. And I got to tell you, I got a director named Michael Felsher. I'm producing the film, and I'm the subject of the movie. That's actually what's behind me, is the poster for the film. That's 23-year-old me being sucked into hell. And it is a very funny, sweet movie about a really gory horror film. And it is it's kind and talks about family and talks about things we've talked about here today, about finding your tribe and finding people that are going to support you and that are going to make things easier when you're creating your stories, when you're creating film. And so the movie, it has almost everybody who was in the original film, including Kane Hodder, who played Jason Voorhees, and Stephen Williams, the brilliant Stephen Williams, who played Creighton Duke. We brought people in who have not spoken about this film for decades, who never had an interview about the movie, and suddenly, like, have all these incredible stories to tell. It's warts and all. So we just won Best Documentary at the Ravenheart Film Festival in Oslo, Norway. That just happened a week ago. It's crazy. We have just found out that we are nominated for 4 other Best Documentary Awards at 4 other festivals. We opened the film at Fright Fest Glasgow a couple months ago. We were just at Texas Frightmare a month ago with the film, and the audiences have been incredible. Like it's an incredible experience to watch this thing. And by the way, I haven't wanted to watch it because I'm in the damn thing. I'm all over this thing, and I didn't want to watch myself. I'm like, I don't need to look at my mug. I have to tell you, sitting with an audience, listening to them experience it, has been one of the greatest thrills I've had in my life. That's no hyperbole. That's really what it feels like. And so we just made a deal with Synapse Releasing to do the Blu-ray of the movie, Blu-ray and 4K and VHS copies. We're going to go do some old school VHS on this thing. And what's great is the movie in the theater is about 110 minutes long, right? So it's a normal, movie length. The disc is that plus over 2 more hours of other stuff that we just didn't put in the theatrical release. That's all there. So it ends up being like a 4-hour movie. And so it's this kind of incredible package. So Synapse Releasing through Red Shirt Films is going to be putting this thing out in October. And I am not letting streaming happen for at least 6 months after that release. So I'm giving the physical media, as we talked about earlier, I'm giving the physical media a chance to move forward. And here's why. Every single dollar that comes in from this movie goes into making pictures in that area that I told you about, the Where Did John Corman Go? So I want to make movies from the movie. Again, I have not made $1. None of my producing partners have made any money on this. We've worked on it for 5 years for free.
Yeah, that's a good concept. What about charity? What about nonprofit? Do you ever give any percentages or any support nonprofits and stuff?
Absolutely. I mean, by the way, look, anybody who lives in Los Angeles, there's so many things that happen here, just natural disaster wise, that I am constantly running ahead of that, constantly. But my company has done scholarship funds. In fact, we created one in Connecticut, actually, to be able to send kids to art school. And that's been amazing. And we've gotten some incredible, just brilliantly talented people who never would have had access to that kind of schooling suddenly have that. Simply because the money wasn't there.
We have a nonprofit. It's called Better Vision for Children, bvccharity.org, that my dad does. I'm the chief marketing officer for, and I'm just seeing like the vision thing and the movies, and so what we do is we screen and test for prevention for any potential eye disease or problems that happen in the future. We work with 6,000 different children in 8 different schools so far. With the Lions Club International. And so maybe we could chat a little bit, with the whole vision thing, because you need eyes to watch a movie.
You bet.
You bet. I'll get you in touch with my dad. You guys can chat about that a little bit more. So guys, this is the questions and answers portion of the show. Please. We're going to have another 5 minutes left. If you guys want to ask Adam any questions at all, if you want to comment anything to Adam, if you want to interview Adam, if you want to get involved with what he's doing, again, you can do that through the app, eZWay Interactive. Look up eZWay Interactive on Google Play or Apple Store, and look for Adam Marcus, and you'll respond back to him, right? You'll.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
By the way, anybody who knows me, and Michael knows this more than anybody, but I am notorious for always getting back to people. It's a big part of my day of like making sure that I interact with people who want to interact with me.
Perfect. I love it. Well, you got Billionaires Women Rising. That's a big organization. My partner, Andy, she says, I want to interview you on several different shows.
Love that, Andy. Absolutely.
And then, there's people beforehand that was, really commenting a lot, and they were kind of going off of what you were saying. But I'll tell you, we have over 100 different podcasts, and Adam, on our network. And we have about 30 direct podcasts that we produce, but we have 100 different podcasts from members, and we're teaching our members on how to become media, right? So and media is everything, and you're talking about some massive organic, real reach. And so we're also going to be doing a virtual film festival soon. So I'm definitely going to have you on the panel there. We're going to have you get involved with
Love
some
it.
great stuff there.
I love it.
And do you have a podcast or a blog or anything my fans can follow or get involved with you?
I will tell you this. I mean, I do a lot of podcasts at this point. Just I do a lot of them. We have two things in house that we're building. One is with one of my producing partners, Ali Rivera Quinones, who's amazing, which is called Off the Rails with Ali and Adam, and that we're doing right now. I've also got a podcast about filmmaking that I'm doing with one of my oldest friends since we were 14, my best friend since I was 14 years old. He's my editor now, a guy named Eric Beatner, is a brilliant writer, and he cuts The Amazing Race. He's the lead editor of The Amazing Race. He's been nominated for the Emmy 9 times. It's extraordinary. But I will tell you, one of the things that I do, and you'll see it sometimes on Instagram, but I still have Facebook. I still dig Facebook. That's where Michael and I actually met. I do on my page. I'm an artist as well. I'm a physical artist, so I'll do portraiture, and then of an actor, of a star, of somebody, and then I will talk about a movie. It's called The Movies That Made Me, and each one of these things has become these sort of blog posts, and it talks about how each story can further how you tell stories. And that got picked up actually by a brilliant guy named Jean-Louis Coloshi, out of France. And he has this incredible book series called Art de Cinema. Last year I was made associate editor of that book series. And so now my portraiture and my essays are in that book series in France now. And that's also going to be coming to America. So it's been, this year has been, my filmmaking is like one corner of my world, and the rest of it's all been sort of exploding around it.
Well, let me introduce you to the wonderful world of eZWay and how we can help you get. I mean, we're basically known for repurposing and outreaching.
Sure.
So if you want to outreach and get that out there a little bit more, or whatever, we built our own social network for like the 1%ers, people like yourself. You'll see a lot of people come on here and they'll post about, oh wow, this was an awesome show. I and then if you're posting, they'll engage with you, they'll connect with you, they'll get involved. The Wall of Fame, they're going to look for your profile, they're going to review you. They're, if you have training on what you do, like you talked about, you can actually put that here in our platform. But if you go to blog, we have over 10,000 members that will blog really cool stuff that's going on. That's great. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. And then what will happen is when you blog that stuff, when you put that stuff out, that's going to go out to all of the sales on your account, but it's going to go out to all of our members, and everything is notified on their account. And if you have the app, you're going to get a notification on your phone when that stuff is happening.
I love it.
Yeah, let's get you in the mix, man. Let's
Please, I'd love to. It all sounds amazing, man. This is extraordinary.
Thank you. And so I'm going to give you this stage one last time. And this is the worst part of the show, guys, but this is the part where we say we got to bid you adieu. But I want you to do me a favor and just talk about your experience. I know you gave us a little kudos earlier, but really talk about your first eZWay experience, what you thought of the show, and tell everybody to tune in and download the eZWay interactive app. If you could remember all that. Let's see how good you really
You got
all right.
Hey guys, I got to tell you, my first experience with eZWay has been actually kind of extraordinary. And I did not know what I was coming into, which is fabulous. So I walk out a much richer man just for having done this, for meeting Eric, and for also meeting the wonderful people who've been asking questions and have been commenting on what's been going on, which is really lovely for somebody who's talking with an audience to have some sort of interaction and to feel that energy coming back at you only makes things a lot easier to push forward on and to be able to keep, talking about stories and keep sharing opinions and ideas about how you can be a better artist or a better filmmaker, or honestly, just a stronger presence in media. And eZWay really created that for me today. That's for sure. And I would just say, I implore everybody to do everything you can. Make sure that you download the eZWay motion. to now become part of the eZWay community, whether it's blog posting, whether it's being able to interact with people you've seen on this show, or with each other. What a great way to connect with each other. What a great way to create a new network for you. And again, everything in success in media comes from networking and knowing people. And this seems to be an incredible way to do that.
Wait, download the what? Tell them one more time. Download what app?
Download the eZWay Promotions app.
The eZWay interactive app. You guys heard it first from Adam. This has been a I'm great fun interview. I love these type of interviews, Adam, and I hope you enjoy. I
had a great time.
And thank you again to Makel for connecting this. There's going to be another. In fact, Makel seems to be bringing me all these A-list actors and directors, coming up here soon. So, it's funny how that turns out. You work with somebody for editing, but you have no idea who they are and who they edit for. So
sure.
Let that be a lesson to you guys: is you never know who knows who that knows somebody else that knows somebody else. You never know where relationships come in from. We're gonna have a blast together, Adam. I can tell. We're gonna do a lot of great stuff for the eZWay family community and yours. Anything I can do to serve and support your community, let us know. And I look forward to the future, the behind the scenes. Guys, post your comments at the end. Post your comments. Say bye. Say later to Adam. And thanks again, man. It was a pleasure meeting you. And we'll see what happens. What's coming up.
Love it.
All right, guys. So we'll leave comments. Remember, follow Adam on Instagram. Yeah, we got the Relief Alliance. We also support the Relief Alliance. 10,000 users and growing. The Owl app is one of our sponsors. Social loves the BBC charity. All right. Yes, sir. And we got some great advice today. So, Makel said he loved it.
There you go.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I don't even want to leave. Like, you're so cool. I don't want to let the show go. All right, let's see. You said you dance, right? Let's see your dance.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, see my dance moves? Not happening.
I'm just kidding, man.
Dude, I'm gonna download your app immediately.
What'd you say? You're gonna download?
I'm downloading the app right now.
I love it. eZWay Interactive. Thank you so much.
Dude,
all right.
Of course. What are you kidding?
All right, guys. Adam, Marcus, make sure you support him on his spot. And one thing about us, Adam, is the eZWay family. We click the share button. We support one another. We're a very supportive community.
Yep.
So, guys, go on the eZWay Interactive app and look for a special group. We're going to do a filmmakers group. Then we're going to do some great stuff for filmmakers. And we're going to have some fun, Adam. Thanks so much, man.
You got it, brother.
All right. Oh man, that was so much fun, guys. Like, I love it. Like, stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to eZTalkPodcast.com. That is my show, eZTalkPodcast.com. And if you want to get your own podcast on our platform, we are getting ready to be the ultimate platform. I'm not kidding. The ultimate platform for podcasting. Like, you will not have a better way to be able to make money, get guests, book people, automated booking. All of the other podcasts will interview you. I mean, this platform is beyond incredible. And the back end is a patent pending back end system that actually will manage and run all of your stuff. And again, follow Adam Marcus, give him that love on his Instagram. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up. He's got his great project. His next, I love that, the movie in a movie. That was like a great concept. But this is the back end of our platform. You can go to all the different marketing tools, but if you click on podcasts, blogging, events, but podcasts especially, we give you the way to actually collect subscribers, lock in your subscribers, know who they all are, click one button, and then go bam, and let everybody know what you're doing, what's coming up next. And everybody presses the share button. It's a blast. We manage all your subscribers, all your guests are managed, automated follow-ups. Like, this system is incredible. But if you want to know more, we're going to go commercial break, and then we're going to bid you guys adieu. Shout outs to all of our distributors, Radiate TV, iTube 247, Faith Channel, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Apple Store, LG, Samsung, Roku channel and everything with Radio TV and Pluto and iTunes and everybody that supports us, Worldwide TV, Women on TV, Fan TV, anyone other one I'm forgetting, I apologize, but that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to eZWay. We're going to go to commercial breaks, so please watch the commercials because it's going to help you get out there more. And then stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Eric Zuley, ERICZULEY. But ultimately, it's eZWay Family if you want to watch what the community is up to and what we got going on. All right, guys, we'll be back next time. Keep doing it the eZWay, hashtag eZWay. Love you. Bye.
eZWay Interactive. Start connecting the eZWay. Are you ready to connect like never before? Introducing the eZWay Interactive app, your ultimate social solutions network. Whether you're looking to network, collaborate, or simply share ideas, eZWay makes it easy to engage with like-minded individuals and organizations. Discover innovative solutions, join exciting discussions, and expand your horizon, all in one powerful platform. Don't miss out on the future of social networking. Download eZWay Interactive now and unlock endless possibilities.
We'll see you on the eZWay Interactive app. And I wanted to remind you guys about the VIP pitch party. We might even have Adam Marcus there and so many other amazing celebrities. It's happening this Thursday, 3 to 5 o'clock. Do not miss it. Here's some more information on how we can help you get your podcast, take your microphone, and monetize it into profits.
Welcome to eZWay Podcast. Do you have a podcast? Maybe you want to create one. Let eZWayPodcast.com make it a little easier on you and your guests. For only $99 a month, you can super boost your podcast, get more subscribers, advertisers, and manage everything all in one place with eZWay Network.
Get seen and heard the eZWay, get a larger reach, meet quality potential guests. You could be on Roku, Apple, Amazon, all mobile devices, and smart TVs streaming on eZWayTV. Our network helps you get advertisers and people wanting to pay you for an interview, as well as brand credibility and more social media followers. Try it free. Register to eZWayPodcast.com.
Watching eZWayTV, powered by eZWayNetwork.com.
All right, man.